Hello, good day, and welcome back to Go on the Run. And today we're going to look at how you can use Pocketbase to serve your client front end. Now, that's basically making Pocketbase like a web server, essentially. Now, this is one of the easiest thing you can do with Pocketbase, and we're going to see how to do it. So let's jump in. Let's just start up our Pocketbase and see what we get. So here I am in my Pocketbase directory. If I type ls, you'll see I have those directories for all the episodes that we did. And today we're working on episode 16. If you recall, when we start with just Pocketbase the executable. And once you run that the first time, it creates these directories for the data and the migrations. So let's start a Pocketbase as we usually do. And now we can see the API endpoint and our admin endpoint. This we already know. Let me duplicate this tab. And if I instead just go to the port where Pocketbase is running, notice I'm not using / or / API. I'm simply using localhost :8090. And what it says that not found. What is not found? What is Pocketbase looking for? So what it's looking for is for HTML files in a public directory. So let me show you. Actually, let me do it from this thing. I'll go back up one directory. And so here I'm in the same directory I was showing just now. I'm going to make a directory called pb_public. So now I've added my public directory. Within the public directory, I'm going to add a file. And so I'll just create startup codium in pb public. And let's create a simple HTML file, index.html. And so what we can do is we can probably write our own HTML file, but I'm going to have one generated. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to Google and log into my Google account. If you have Gmail, log into your Gmail account and then go to gemini.google.com, and then you'll see chat with Gemini. And if I click on that, accept the terms of use, and then say use Gemini and opt in. Let's see, opt in to receive email updates. No, I'm not actually going to do that. Continue. And now we are here. And so if I type, so that's all I type. That's my prompt. I said create a simple landing page for an e-commerce site with HTML using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And sure enough, here it is. And it created the individual files for me. So let's look at the code that's generated. It says that this piece of code, HTML, is for, you should put it in an index.html file. Of course, you can put it in any file, but we're going to put it in index.html. So let's copy that, put that there, go back here, we'll paste it. The other thing is that it says, I'm going to read or pull in a script.javascript file or script.js file. If we scroll along, we see here we have style.css, which makes sense. We didn't ask any functionality like be able to log in or anything. So we don't actually have a JavaScript file. So we can either leave this in our HTML for later and just create an empty JavaScript file, but we can figure it out later. But let's just go now and create our style.css file. And so we go here, let's just create a style.css file, CSS, paste that. That's good. And then I'll just create an empty script.js file. Now that we have these files and they're already in our pb_public directory, guess what? I just go back to my web browser here, and if I just refresh, notice what happened. The same index.html file that we had there is now here. And we know that how the style sheet is applied because we can see that we have centering and so on, and the different rounded buttons and so on. So our style sheet is working. This shows you that we can easily use Pocketbase to serve the client application also. What does this mean? Well, if we can simply put our HTML, JavaScript, and others front-end files in, this pb.public directory, then those files can then reference or call the API. So everything is all in one place. So Pocketbase is not only serving up your front-end file, but also, as we know, it is your backend providing endpoints for you to interact with the data. We saw in the last video how you can extend Pocketbase with Go by putting in, writing hooks. So essentially, you pretty much have this all-encompassing thing that you can use. So, all right. So now that's an example of how you can sort of client file. So using the same methods I showed you just now using the same trick I showed you just now for generating this web page, I went ahead and generated a few more pages. So let me show you what that's like. So let me close this and open not my pub directory, but this example directory instead. So let's go to our project directory. Let's go to our example directory. Let's take a look at example1 directory. And those are the files that we just placed in our pb_public directory. Once I created these pages, I was like, okay, let me just create pages to represent our e-commerce website. So I asked an AI to create pages for login for e-commerce website, the checkout page, order history page, and all that sort of stuff. Similar thing that you'd want for e-commerce website. I'm not saying these are all the pages, by the way. I'm not a front-end developer, so I didn't want to waste time trying to write up some stuff. So I just have an AI created. It doesn't really matter what you use, but let's say you have some pages, whether you write them or you have an AI help you generate them to get started. Now, let's just copy this file or this entire subdirectory to our pub directory. Now notice, I'm going to have a directory called view on the pub. So when I want to access this login file, for example, I have to access it as, /view/login.html. It's not going to default to the index.html, which is typical for web browsers. Also, in my login.html, notice I specifically say I want to access CSS common.cs, which refers to this js./common file, which is here at my css.common file. So let's put that now into our public directory. So I want to do cp-r, and I want to copy everything here within this directory, or exercise 2. I want to copy everything to the parent directory, pb.public. And if I do that, now I should have in my pb public directory, CSS at the root, JavaScript at the root, and then view at the root. I still have my index and JavaScript and style from before for the landing page. But now, if I go back to the browser, and again, nothing changed with what I had before, but I can now say /view/login at HTML, and now notice how I can access my login page. And I can also take a look at my product listing page, and there it is. I have something to start with. I mean, I can add additional products. I mean, this would mean that I'll fetch the list of products from my backend, Pocketbase, and it's easy because it's already hosted here. So how would you get the data to populate this product page, for example, or to make your login page work? Well, we know that our Pocketbase has client-side SDK. So you then use, let's say, JavaScript, because this is for JavaScript is what you're going to use in the browser. And if you scroll down, you can see how you can add some JavaScript to your application to call Pocketbase and then be able to log in or fetch the list of products, and then of course populate it. Now that's beyond the scope of this, of what I want to show you. I'm not actually building out the application, but now you see how you can tie it together. I show you how to do the backend. I show you how to host the front end. And now here's the client code for the front end that would tie it and make it possible for you to make your front end functional. So I think that's enough for Pocketbase. I showed you how to do the backend. I show you how to host the front end. And I show you how, hey, Pocketbase already provides you client library for you to tie in the backend to the front end. Are there other things you can do with Pocketbase? Certainly. But I think that what I've shown over these 16 parts is quite a bit. It's actually much more than I planned on initially. I thought we'll do like maybe 5 or 6 parts and that'll be it. But anyway, I'm happy that I got to show you this. I've been wanting to cover Pocketbase for well over a year or so. So with that, I will say thank you. If you are new to the channel, thanks for visiting. If you made it to the end and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you part of the channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Appreciate it that you coming back and being patient. And definitely leave comments, suggestions, anything below. If this was helpful for you, please let me know. If you had an issue with something, please let me know. I'll try and see if I can, leave a comment or something to help you out, or if I need to make another video. Other than that, though, I think this should be it. With that said, take care, stay safe, see you in the next video. Bye.